Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to focus on Harley Davidson's virtual launch 2021. I'm only going to go through the most important things. So they started off with a very nice cinematic video. It's a good introduction. And he went on to Jason Momoa or Aquaman, saying that he's very pumped up about the 2021 bikes. And then he went into the CEO, which was pretty monotonous, and he started speaking about why he loved riding, and it went pretty long. So it took them like almost a good 10 minutes even before they went into their first actual segment that we've been waiting for. So their first segment is none other than their custom vehicle operations. So the CVO bikes had always been Harley's best. They look the best, they feel the best, and they always come out with the highest end product, like their Screaming Eagle sets and accessories. One color to take note is their Snake Venom. It's a pretty awesome looking color with a 117 engine. However, I feel they should be giving a 131 for the price of the CVO bikes. They probably need to sell a kidney to buy one of them. The specials has always been Harley's highest selling bikes. So for this year, not only do they come out in blacked out finish, they come in chrome. But while moving forward, they went back with cable clutches. I don't know why they went from hydraulic to cable. I just hope Harley knows what they're doing. Apart from that, they went one step further to come up with a new audio system. So they partnered up with Forcegate and brought in a Stage 2 sound system, which they're promising to be better than any of their sound system which they have ever brought out. I hope this is true, because I know Harley riders love their sound systems. An interesting segment of the entire virtual launch was color theory. I always loved Harley Davidson's color. It's second to none and is probably the best in the motorcycle industry. It's because they come out with so many different colors, and it's actually super hard to match the factory colors. So I hope they keep doing that. The Street Bob 114 is probably the best of the entire segments. It started off with a short story of a female rider, how she got into it, and the love for riding. What they went to do is they stuck in a 114 engine, pillion seat and pillion packs, and this new and cool paint job, which I think it's going to be probably the best selling Softail. It's an awesome bike, and I'm really glad they finally put in the 114 engine on this small bike. Now the Fat Boy had always been Harley's pride and joy, but Harley kind of got desperate and they brought in their heavy hitters. They brought in Bill Davidson and Karen Davidson to try sell you this bike. All they did was just change from satin chrome to a normal brighter chrome, which is how all chrome is supposed to be, and they're trying to sell you the Fat Boy that is super new and everything has been changed. Now the Pan America was the closing for the virtual launch, but the sad thing is it's only going to come out in 2021 February, so you're going to have to wait another month, but I'm excited about this entire film. So Harley Davidson's virtual launch was basically nothing important, nothing much actually. So I went ahead to go and do some research, so I went to find their website and I went to look through. So the Sportsters, if you notice, there's only 3 models left. They took out all the other models. You got the 883, the 1200, and you got the 48. So the Iron 1200 and 83 has only about $500 difference. Now the Street Rod, Street 500 and Street 750 is also no longer here. So what I'm thinking is they're going to eventually phase out the Sportster and bring in the custom 1200 liquid cooled engine So if you scroll down further, there's a segment on electric, which is the live wire. Now the live wire is an awesome bike. It's fast, and I think it's a good direction that Harley is heading. But the issue with this bike is its range is not that great, and the price tag on this bike is insane. If Harley Davidson is aiming for millennials, that price tag alone would deny that market. Now if you scroll further down, you come down to the softail segment. So Harley Davidson had a lot of softail models, but for 2021 they have the softail standard, the Street Bob 114, the softail slim, the Lowrider S, Sport Glide, Fat Bob 114, and the Fat Boy 114. So they took out the FXDR, the Breakout, the Deluxe. Honestly, the Deluxe was not that great, but I'm surprised they're taking out the Breakout, because here in Singapore it's actually quite a hot bike. Like, a lot of people do buy it. The FXDR is, I felt that they didn't give the FXDR enough time. It's only been like 2 years and they pulled the plug on it. And also the FXDR needed more tech, and they just needed to market it a bit more better. But half the problem comes from the old Harley Davidson generation. They see the FXDR and they hate it, but it's actually a pretty nice bike. The virtual launch showed the Street Bob, but I just want to talk about it again. It's an awesome bike. The paint job is amazing. It comes mid controls, but you can put forward controls if you want. You can put drag bar, you can do a tank lift. The spoke wheels, honestly, I would change them out to a solid rim. You can take out the pillion seat if you want to keep it like a Sportster look, and you can literally black out the entire bike. And the color options on the Street Bob is amazing. Right, it got 4 color options. Right, it comes in black, and you got stone washed white pearl. Comes out with, I think it's banja orange or something, but I love this orange. I don't know why, but I love it. And you got this gunmetal color. The cool thing is the tank has this little graphics on it, and I think that small change alone actually brought out that bike a lot. If this bike actually came out a bit earlier, I would have gotten it. But to be honest, they should actually put the 114 into all their softails. Now the next bike I want to focus a bit more is the Sport Glide, because I feel it's very underrated. It's a hybrid bike between a normal street cruiser and a tourer. So it comes with inverted forks. You got rear suspension adjuster, removable fairings, removable saddlebag, pillion seat, pillion packs. You've got cruise control, and you got all digital gauge. The only thing this bike is lacking is that 114 engine. I don't understand why it's a 107. Put in a 114 engine, and this bike is probably one of the better bikes out in the softail range. For example, once I'm done riding my FXDR, if I'm older, maybe let's say 10 years down the road, this is one bike I would really consider buying, because I personally don't like touring bikes. They're too big for Singapore, but I think this is the next best. So your color options is like pretty awesome. You got this grey, and you have this same thing, stone washed white pearl if I'm not wrong. There are 4 color options, but I think these 2 is the most striking, is because what they did is they got the box, or basically the saddlebag, to match the paint job of the bike. This small change alone actually brings out the bike quite a lot. So it's a very nice design. I just hope people appreciate this bike more. Now if you go down to their touring class, you've got their standard classics and their standard, and then it comes down to their better bikes, which is the Road King Special, Road Glide Special, Street Glide Special, and your Road Glide Limited and Ultra Limited. So they have a bunch of color options, you can click on it and you can see. So remember, the special for street and the road glide comes in black and chrome. Now your CVO street glide, CVO road glide, and you got your CVO limited. You can see the difference is almost 20k more on the CVOs. So if you're willing to spend, I mean, go ahead. But you're given the finest and the best of what Harley has to offer. If you go down further, you'll see the trikes. So you got 3 models: freewheeler, tri-guide, and your CVO tri-glide. So I'm not going to go too much into this, but if you're interested, you can always go and read out a bit more. Now I went into their future vehicle segment, and the first one is the Pan America, and like you can see, it's only coming out in February. I hope this bike is good because it's chain driven and it's meant to compete with like the V-Strom, the GS 1200. So this bike has to be really good. It's the first time Harley is doing an adventure bike, and I hope they can pull it off. Now another future model is the Custom 1200. I was pretty disappointed Harley Davidson didn't even talk about this at all in their virtual launch. Like, what are the plans? How many models you're going to come up with? Is it going to replace the Sportster and the Street? Zero information, nothing. So all we know is it's coming out this year and we just have to wait for it. It's going to use the same engine as the Pan America, so you should be getting about similar power and torque. Now there's one thing that I'm very bummed out about is the Bronx. I was so happy that Harley Davidson actually was making a Street Fighter, but then they promised they will make it, but you know, the Bronx died. It was supposed to use the same engine as the Pan America, and I think it's a very good way for Harley to go, because the millennials, they actually love Street Fighter or super naked bikes. It's a very hot selling bike in cities, and I believe a street bike like this with the Harley Davidson logo, build quality and color could have set it apart from other competitors, especially if they try to match the price or just maybe 1 or 2k more. It's enough to actually win quite a lot of people. So I'm pretty bummed out about it. I do hope it comes out in the future, because I know the millennials, us millennials, love this kind of bikes. So am I disappointed with Harley? Yeah, I'm very pretty disappointed with their 2021 launch. I don't know what they're going to do, but they're going to have to aim and try to get the millennials on board, the young riders. So what they can do is they try to cater for the young riders and the older riders, and eventually start phasing out the old bikes, because you have to move forward. You see, Europe is pushing for electric vehicles, so Harley Davidson has to keep that in mind. One thing they did well was the live wire, but I believe they need to do more than that. So Harley Davidson, I hope you guys can make it through.